What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Kofi Kingston, aka 1/3 of the New Day. You're not gonna say it with me, sir? Yeah, come on, you better participate. Let's try it again. 1/3 of the New Day, and you are watching The Young and the Wrestlers. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome to The Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Besson, alongside...
You think you know me. I'm Jem.
And boy, do we have a treat for you today. So switching it up a little bit. Normally, you see our Raw reviews on a Thursday, 8 a.m. podcast services, 9 a.m. YouTubes, or our SmackDown reviews, Tuesday mornings, 8 a.m. podcast services, 9 a.m. YouTubes. But today... we are talking about pay-per-views. This is our WWE pay-per-view in review. Today, we are talking about the Royal Rumble. But, as you normally do, if you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to facebook.com/group/thepopculturist, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, all those social medias. Links are in the description below. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, be sure to follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/thepopculturist. You come over there, you can watch us record this show, whether it be Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, play games, whatever, live as it happens. All those details are in the socials and the Twitches and the descriptions because this is such a separate show, Jem. Mm-hmm. This is our once a month special show.
Yes.
The rules are a little bit different, but yes. On top of that, sorry, we just get a cool little notification because Fluffman Dingus is in the chat. He says, hey, 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 then also gave us a little follow. A little host.
Fluffman.
What a straight up dingus. I'm very proud.
Thank you.
What was I going? But if you want to, yes, that's right. You can watch us live. But if you want to support us financially for some reason, you think we're worth your dollar dues, head over to patreon.com/popculturist. Support us at any dollar value. Get yourself a nice little sneaky link where you can watch us record the show live. Wait, you can't do that because that's the old Patreon spiel. We took that away. You can just watch it for nothing. So it's a recent decision. It's kind of throwing a spanner in the works. But if you want to support us in a more one-stop fashion, head over to popculturist.com/shop. We can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Jem, how is your post-Royal Rumble emotions?
I am on a total downer. Not in a bad way, but I am just spent because I did a lot of yelling and screaming yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And especially having, obviously we had a little PopC community today. We had, yourself and Craig and a bunch of others there, Lucas and Heidi. Mm-hmm. So we had Dylan as well. We had quite a few people there. So there was a lot of, all of us getting real yelly and shouty. And I'm pretty sure some tears were shed as well. So.
Look, I'd be lying if there wasn't.
Yeah.
None of us had the full... breakdown that we did say WrestleMania, but we certainly did have emotional moments.
Oh yeah,
which was very, very nice.
How about you?
I'm good. Now the benefit of my day job is, I work with clients. Clients love wrestling. I got to watch both Rumbles again today.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome
for me. It was good. I don't complain.
Nice.
But I'm happy. It was good.
Yes, it was a good Rumble.
For those that do follow me on social media, because for some reason sometimes I say interesting things. I did mention that I have had a pretty shit time last couple of weeks. It's had some garbage mental health, and I needed something. And yesterday, I think may have been it. I felt so good. At the end of the day, I haven't felt genuinely happy for a long stretch of a day for a long time. So, yesterday was awesome, and I thank you, Jem. I thank for coming and helping. Even though you didn't know you were helping, same as to Craig and everyone and Dylan, and everyone that came around. It was an awesome day. I was really happy to share it with you all. We had a little shindig, and then we got to all have fun. It was very, very good.
It was a good day, and that pavlova was amazing, by the way.
Oh man, there's so much of that pav left. For those who don't know, let's get this New Zealand Australian PAV debate out of the way because fuck it, doesn't matter. So we got a PAV, a great Australian dish. We got the creams.
The Fluff Man is from New Zealand, by the way.
Pav is from NZ, says Fluff Man. Look, let's both just fucking enjoy it, all right? Australia and New Zealand, we share things all the time. It's cool. It's all right. So I'm just saying, we took what is commonly an Australian food. May not be from there. Origins don't matter. Australia is built on a multicultural thing. So we took
built
that.
On stealing other people's
It's
shit.
built on stealing land and stealing other people's shit. That's what Australia did. And we've done it right now with the PAV. And it's very inappropriate. But, so what we did, a long story short, we then got cream. And it was Zimmel cream, so I could eat it, which is very nice.
I'm sorry, you've broken me.
I could have made it worse, but I didn't. So.
I know. I'm going to lose friends over this. I'm so sorry, Fluffman.
No, but we got cream, Zimmel cream, so I could eat it. Very safe. He's laughing in the chat. He's not too bad. He just says, get yourself together, Jem. So we added Milo into the cream to make at least the cream more Australian. So it's just sugar dirt in cream. It was awesome. And then on top of that, we just punched a bunch of Tim Tams and throw it on the top. It was literally a slab of air and sugar, and it was fucking delicious.
It was amazing.
So good. It was very, very good.
So good.
And I could eat it, which makes me happy because it's lactose-free cream. Very rarely do I get to enjoy desserts like that. And the thing is, none of you knew that it was Zimmel cream. You were all like,
no, we did
so
not.
delicious. I'm like, yeah, and it's safe. Didn't even know.
Amazing.
But there's so much of that left, and I probably shouldn't eat it because it's real bad for me, but I'll continue to eat it. Let's get into it. So, the Royal Rumble began with it was something that didn't surprise me. I thought we were going to open with the Men's Rumble. Instead, we opened with the Roman Reigns, the big dog, taking on King Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Now, 2K20, as we predicted on Friday how it would come together. Martine in the chat says, that sounds like a good dessert. Damn right it was a good dessert. Don't argue that. So according to 2K20, we predicted on Friday, Roman would take the win, but they wouldn't leave the ring.
Yeah.
There was some initial concerns, because same as here, Falls Count Anywhere match, it took them a while to leave the ring area.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
Yep, and then when they were outside the ring area, it didn't really last.
It was all right. It was like they were going, they were starting to make the move and do something cool. I'm like, all right, where are you taking this? Where are you taking this, big dog? Where you going? Then they fuck up the Spanish table, which I enjoyed.
Yeah,
they then wandered off, and then they fucked up the international desk.
Oh, yeah, all the ones lined up out the back.
Just the ones that are kind of the distance. Like, Baron Corbin gets Samoa dropped once through one table. I think it was the Japanese table. Lifted up again and then powered through another table. It was brilliant. Yeah. Pointy bits and everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, onto all of the sound gears and monitors and stuff like that. That did not look
very pointy looking sound gear, I should say. Then they eventually scattered around. There's a porta potty usage. Corbin was in it, got the flip, didn't come out in the blue goo or the poops. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like, no one's pooped in there yet. But
lucky for him.
Initially, like Roman was walking over there. I'm like, oh, did he have a rough dinner before Rumble? Weird choice, but that's cool. When you got, I know when you got to go, you got to go.
You do.
And that would be amazing. He's in there, has a poop, come back out, and continues punching on Corbin. But eventually, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode come in, get involved, bit of side dissing.
The Usos obviously come to the rescue.
Yeah, so they try to handcuff Roman to one of the sound desks, sound area stairs. Usos come in. It was pretty good. Then eventually, the camera seems to follow Dolph and Rude and Jay, I believe. Jimmy, maybe? I think it was Jimmy.
Yeah.
There was Jimmy on the mat. They're scuffling around the back of their sound desk. They then get up one of the, those barrier things, put it over two bins. They go to put him through it. No chance, because out of nowhere comes fucking Jay. And, the beautiful angle of this, he just jumps from the scaffolding and just and
out of nowhere
decimates them. Like, when they show another angle, you can see up top, like, the build-up and the run-up to it. But because of where it was shot and they're all wearing black, it was just beautiful. It was like out of nowhere and then just dropped them.
Randy thought his RKO came out of nowhere.
That's right. Benny 8-Bit in the chat. He goes, I missed the porta potty thing, but only really started paying attention when the Usos showed up, because that's when it did start going into motion, Benny. Like that's when it really kicked in a gear. But he goes, he loves hearing them say, "Yeah, he is up there."
Yeah.
Because it was just, and then Baron kind of came out of nowhere as well, and there's a bit of bullshit, and then one of them got smacked into that top thingy.
Yes.
It looked really, really painful, which was cool because it didn't bend or nothing. Like it clearly wasn't propped. It was just big audible calling. Oh, so I was like, "Hey, it's Jay." What? Which makes sense because that's a pretty big spot. So that one I'm okay with. Like normally calls you can, if they can kind of get away with, you can hide them. That's pretty sweet. But the safety on that one was kind of necessary.
Yeah, paramount.
But yeah, then eventually the Roman and Baron make their way to a dugout and they pull the curtain back, I think to demonstrate that it is a dugout, which is fine. But we originally suspected that maybe there would be a mat in the dugout and then Baron would get pegged into it and then that'd be enough. But instead it's just a drop on the top and then 1, 2, 3, Roman Reigns is your winner.
As predicted.
Yeah.
Obviously, the lead up to this, Roman Reigns has had a losing streak. So, it was predicted that he would take the win here.
Look, overall, I was pretty happy with it. Like, I kind of enjoyed it. Like, I liked him getting in the crowd. I do hope this season ends to the feud. I think it possibly could be. Like, where can they really go from here? But Fluffman Dingus in the chat pretty much spot on. He goes, it was kind of an anticlimactic win. Because it did kind of, like, there was no big spot to finish it off. It was just right on the dugout roof. But in terms of, I guess what they were going for with it being in the crowd, that is a pretty central crowd spot. So when they zoom out, there is just people everywhere and Roman's in the middle of it standing over Corbin. So from a visual perspective, it totally lands. From a wrestling perspective, it's like, okay, could you have done something better to bring that down? Yeah.
I definitely think it was probably the right match to open the show as well. Any later in the card, and I think it would have just completely bombed.
Absolutely, completely. Like, so one thing we'll talk about, because after the women's rumble, the momentum died just because of the energy that the rumbles take. So I think if you put it anywhere else, it would have instantly been and I guess it's having it sprawl out into the crowd is that right sort of energy starter for the Rumble. Because the Rumble, because of the nature of the rules, it is very centralized and there's no movement. Yeah. Where here,
and everybody wants to be engaged.
Yeah, like, all right, let's get in the crowd. Everyone's like, fuck yeah, let's feel it. I'm feeling it. And then it starts making its way in. Benny also adds, everything Reigns does is anticlimactic.
I could agree with
sometimes.
that. Yeah. I don't see the appeal in Roman Reigns. Like, I understand why, but I just don't.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's the big thing that they want him to be. And I understand, why that won't line up. But, there's obviously something there. But I whether it's being delivered wrong, I don't know. It's just Roman's not coming. But do you see this as being that footnote in this feud?
Yes. Yeah, it had to come full circle eventually. I think this is that. I think that's come around to the end for sure. I think it's done.
All right. Well, let's make our way into the women's Rumbler. The Rumble, as they say in Nowhere. So what I'll do is I'll run through the list of entrants in the order that they attended, and then we'll go from there. So number 1 was Alexa Bliss. Number 2 was Bianca Belair. Number 3 was Mighty Molly. Number 4, Nikki Cross. Number 5, Lana. Number 6, Mercedes Martinez. Number 7, Liv Morgan. Number 8, Mandy Rose. Number 9, Candice LeRae. Number 10, Sonya Deville. Number 11, Kairi Sane. Number 12, Mia Yim. Number 13, Dana Brooke. Number 14, Tamina. Number 15, Dakota Kai. Number 16, Chelsea Green. 17, Charlotte Flair. 18, The Return of Naomi. 19, Beth Phoenix. Number 20, Toni Storm. 21, Gelly. 22, Sarah Logan. 23, Natalia. 24, Xia Li. 25, Zelina Vega. 26, Shotzi Blackheart. 27, Carmella. 28, Tegan Nox. 29, Santina Morella. Number 30, Shayna Baszler.
Baszler.
Now, we'll get it right out of the bait so we can just start chatting. And the winner, Charlotte Flair. She came out, could have decimated Shayna, because Shayna was expected to be, she was the 29th, just so the second last. So the final four were Beth Phoenix, Charlotte, Shayna Baszler, and Natalya. So it was a good mix of the current, the future, and the past, which I really liked. Which I really liked personally.
I think my favorite part of it all was, I believe Mandy was thrown out and she landed on Otis.
Yes.
Yep, she landed like face first, smooching Otis.
Yeah, that was
and
hot.
then because her feet hadn't actually touched the ground, she was able to get back up and into the ring. And yeah, that was amazing. And then it had happened again. Otis sort of caught Mandy again, but then Sonya got thrown onto Mandy and they all like went tumbling down. Yeah. But that whole thing with Otis ringside, like cheering on Mandy, was the cutest thing ever. And I think that was great. I absolutely love that.
We should also mention the two MVPs. I guess we'll have a debate on who should be considered the MVP. Yes. For the most eliminations went to Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler, both with 8. The big difference was Bianca Belair came in at number 2, Shayna Baszler coming in at 30. She was in the ring for about 4 minutes, but was able to eliminate 8 people. So who do you think should be considered the MVP or the Iron Woman in this match?
I definitely think Bianca Belair because of how long she lasted. Yep. She did a ridiculously phenomenal job. Her and Alexa Bliss, being the first two, it's obviously a lot of pressure on you to perform. And they were both outstanding for the whole thing. And I was actually really impressed with how well Bianca Belair did.
But in the chat, Benny does mention that Beth Phoenix was the MVP, 100%. Like, so early on in the match, she took a bit of a bump into the top of the ring post, split the back of her head open, and it's one of those things. If you watch it and you watch the replay, you can see exactly where it happens. Like, it's a hard. And like you can see that like impact of where it cut her open, and then she proceeded to bleed profusely from the skull, and her exceptional blonde hair just started tinging in this red. It was absolutely amazing. She looked bad ass, which I really loved. In the Rumble, she was my pick. She was number 21. Belair did it, Benny said, to make it even better. So she was my pick in the Rumble, number 21. I was very happy with that because even though she didn't win, there was a ripper of a performance. I'm really happy with that. Yeah. Now, you're a big Beth Phoenix fan, as we know.
I am, yeah. So it was awesome to see her. I completely popped when she came out. I was so excited by it. Look, I'm gonna like raise the kayfabe for a second and
with these pay-per-views, it's a blend. We don't know, it doesn't really matter. Okay,
beautiful. Well, with this whole thing, one thing that kind of made me pop, but at the same time I was really torn about it, was the whole Santina Morella thing.
Yeah, fuck that.
I was excited about it because this comes full circle into long-term storytelling with a storyline from years and years and years ago with Beth Phoenix and Santina in a Royal Rumble. I think it was something, but it was the greatest thing. But then the whole like Santino being an absolute sexist pig really just dampened that for me. Because he'd recently been put on record saying that he doesn't believe that women are good enough to be in the ring, essentially. But yet then he goes and jumps in this Royal Rumble with them, like. Whatever.
I agree. I was personally quite disgusted by this. Actually, I think this is incredibly transphobic of the WWE. Now, granted, WWE have always been really shit at understanding the cultural pulse, but I refused for them to not see that this is a problem.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't think we'll ever see it again, and I'm happy with. But I'm disappointed that this slot could have been taken up by fucking anyone.
Yeah,
there was 1,000 people that could have been better. It wasn't unnecessary. Like, I understand that for those that may have that history. Like it's in some ways though, it does also show where WWE was and where they are now, and that idea and the fact that no one eliminated, he kind of like, you know what, I'm out, and then eliminates himself. So I would like to presume that could be seen as a death of the past, and like that part of WWE is 100% gone. Because even women that back in the day would have had a very different experience in this Rumble pretty delivered. Like even likes of Kelly Kelly and Molly Holly, like these older style women that were in that point in time came in and fucking dominated. So I really like that. I'd like to think that's what they were trying to do. I feel is incredibly poorly handled. And you know, as we had a trans person in the room with us, and they hated it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
Because you know they haven't seen many pay-per-views, and you know they watched it and they're like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
We had a chat about it today. You know, it's just like,
that's fair.
It's kind of it's bullshit. Really is what it is. But I don't want to think too much about it because I don't think he is worth that time. No, I think it's an absolute waste of a 29 spot, by the way.
Yeah, exactly it.
But Charlotte Flair does come out the victor. She pegged Shayna Baszler over the top rope to come out the winner. Now we
was not expecting that.
That's correct. Now neither you or I have seen Raw yet.
No.
So we're going to throw our speculations around of who she will pick. Who do you think? Would you think it'll be Becky or Becky or Bayley?
I think it's going to be Bayley, just because like what the SmackDown title needs Charlotte.
Yeah.
It needs her. It's going nowhere. And I think, you know, it's time somebody put Bayley in her place. And I think Charlotte can do that.
Yeah, no, so in the rules, it does allow for a championship match. So as the women only have 3 belts, we can therefore presume it's one of the key belts, right? Wouldn't it be awesome if she went for like the tag team for some reason? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's possible does this. We've lost your video for a sec.
Oh no.
That's right. I'll come back. One possibility is what about NXT?
Oh.
Like we saw an awesome match with time at the Survivor Series with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. So why not see that again? I would love to see that again. Yeah, your video's not coming back.
It's not?
No.
Give me 2 seconds. Let's try this.
I'll keep chatting. We'll see some Discord and then we'll see you hopefully come. There we go. You're back.
Good.
All right. But yes, I would absolutely love to see that. Now, I don't think that would, but I think it would be in the world where we can now have multiple time champions in NXT. You know, we've got Shayna herself is a 2-timer. Gargano is a 3-timer. Cole is a 2-timer. 2-timer? 3-timer? 2-timer. Like, wouldn't it be amazing for her to go down? Now, granted, it's way above Charlotte to do this, to go quote-unquote down to NXT. But what else is she doing right now? She doesn't have any other stories. Yeah. Why not put some eyes on NXT? There's already eyes there, but now you can get more. Have her go down there, take on Ripley, you know, because that says, come Mania, because presumably NXT is going to be involved in Mania. Like, why would they not?
Exactly.
So what a way to spotlight some NXT talent.
Yeah, 100%. And like both Charlotte and Ripley are like huge. Like they're Amazonian like goddesses. So they're going to put on one hell of a match, and it's one hell of a match that I want to see. Yeah.
Now, granted, not knowing her actual pick, I think that'd be an idealistic pick. I don't think that'll happen. I think if anything, she'll probably. It's got to be Becky, right? But
I reckon it's going to be Bayley.
You reckon it's Bayley?
I reckon it's Bayley.
Okay, well, we do know that within Raw, she does announce who she's picking. So I guess we'll hear us talk about it tomorrow for our Raw review. Yeah, I would presume Becky be like, you cost me my shit this last WrestleMania. I gotta get back.
That's fair.
You know, but then it's a situation of we're seeing Becky, Charlotte again and again. We saw Charlotte and Bayley previously as well. It all comes down to like, what if, you know, it changes hands between now and Mania, right?
Yeah.
Because
down to we'll see.
Yeah, because like there was some. Before we jump on, we'll talk about some noticeable absences. There were some women that didn't appear. Sasha being one, as we know that she's not cleared, believed to be an ankle injury. Ember Moon still out.
Yeah.
Any other women that didn't make the cut?
Obviously Nia Jax is still out.
Nia Jax is still out. I thought, she having such a pretty good spot at last year's Rumble.
Yeah. I believe Ruby Riott was still out.
Ruby Riott is still out. Yeah, she would have been awesome as well because we did see both Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan in there as well.
Yeah, we sure did. Who else?
Fluff Mendingus goes, where is Ember? I believe she's injured. I don't know what I can't remember what she's done. I want to say arm, but I'm also thinking knee.
Maybe.
I don't know. Either way, she is out. She has been out for a while. Whatever it was, it did fuck her up pretty hard. Like there was some sort of possible rumor mill that, like I predicted anyway, that Nia Jax might return, but double knee surgery, double meniscuses, I believe. Like you're proper fucked for a long time.
Yeah, exactly,
Victoria and Lita were supposed to be in there too. Yeah, where the hell's Lita at? Like Trish, we understand Trish is done. She had the retirement match with Charlotte at Mania. Give me Lita.
Victoria would have been badass to see.
Yeah, it would have been good.
Yeah.
Let's move along to, speaking of Bayley, we saw Bayley versus Lacey Evans for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
AKA the interlude.
Yeah, so this is the... Mickey James as well. Fluffman, Mickey. Yeah, Mickey, So this is the moment that we went, whoo, because after expending all our energy with the Women's Rumble, we kind of scattered. We started.
I'm pretty sure I was the only one that was still watching.
Yeah. So we scattered. I went and started making lunch for everyone, and everyone kind of like checked their phones or went and had a drink, went to the bathroom and sort of stuff. So having not watched the match fully, what about you, Jem? How did you take this? Because in short, outcome, Bayley retains.
Yeah, Bayley retains cleanly, thankfully. I was expecting some sort of interference there, but there wasn't, thank goodness. But Bayley does, get a quick little retain and does a runner. But no, it was good. It was really good to see that Lacey has stepped up as a superstar. She's really, really on top of what she was doing in this match. She was really, for the most part, she was pretty dominant in it. But yeah, it did ultimately end up going to Bayley. But no, overall it was a good match. No real complaints.
Yes.
I was honestly expecting Lacey to take it. Unfortunately, she didn't though.
Yeah, so as we sort of mentioned with the Roman and Baron, whatever follows the Rumble will always have a lull, and I think that's just the energy that's exerted. So compared to the likes of the two other matches in the middle here, which is Daniel Bryan, The Fiend, Becky and Asuka, this makes sense. Why that they put this here. It's probably the weaker of the three storylines. So it makes sense to not get the full attention. And seeing as A, it really wasn't a showstopper, and two, no titles changed. Okay. I'm alright with it. But yeah, fine. Now I believe this was next. Or was it Becky's next? No, it wasn't. It was Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend for the Universal Championship in a strap match. Straight off, let's get this out of the way. Your camera's gone again. No red light.
No red light.
They took away the thing that makes everyone want to vomit in their seats, the red light. Camera's gone again. It came back and then it went away.
Really?
Yep. I have to crop a photo of you in there for today,
maybe
just to make the video work.
Anyway.
Nope, still nothing.
Still nothing?
That's right.
Might just have to crop it.
Yeah. We'll give it a minute. And
Technical,
turn it off for a minute and we'll give it, and then we'll come back.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, it does happen sometimes.
It does.
But yeah, hang on. Let me just... Yeah, it's fine. So strap match, Fiend, Daniel Bryan, no red light, thank fuck. This was alright. I really enjoyed this actually. A lot.
Yeah, it was interesting. Interesting to see that the Fiend's primary weapon was the strap.
Understandable.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got a weapon in your hands, might as well use it. This was good. Daniel Bryan really did give a hell of a fight. I love that he was using the strap to his advantage, obviously pulling the Fiend into the ring post multiple times. It was just really... It was really good. It was just really good. As expected, the Fiend does retain. But yeah.
Yeah, look, I really enjoyed it because we always know like Daniel Bryan can deliver a banger. The Fiend is an interesting character right now. Benny in the chat does mention because I think I'm the only few people that doesn't like the Fiend gimmick. I like the gimmick. I still liked it at launch. I as it stands right now, I just don't know where it's heading. Mostly because I think even though I have my own theory of what they could do to wrap it up, I also don't think that's where they're going to go. I think that what I done is what my prediction or my theory is a little bit too out there for what they would be wanting to do. So I feel that's like the difficulty about writing themselves into a corner is like, what is it going to be that takes him out? So like, there were some really cool sort of minor storytelling moments in here, just sort of that to and fro between them. There was a moment after, so Brian has sort of been kicked the shit out of for a long time. He's on his hands and knees. He's trying to psych himself up, ready to get up and like get back into the fight. The Fiend's lying down behind him. And he's like, yeah, all right, yeah, good. Psyching himself up to stand up. He goes to stand up, struggles, and the Fiend just gets up in a second.
Yeah.
Which I love because if you, in terms of storytelling, it could almost be like, oh, I played you this entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time you've not quote unquote knocked me down, I was just shitting you.
And he really is like a horror movie villain. Like, it's just no matter how much you beat him down, he just gets straight back up and comes straight up.
Yeah. But like that toying idea, I really, really like. I think the strap was the interesting approach to keep them together. And it's totally smart for Daniel Bryan, who we know can welt up in a heartbeat. So like just whipping him with something, it's just the same as chopping him in that Rumble. Like he looked like meat. It was awesome.
And it does prove, like, the minute the strap came off and the Fiend, like, got the win, like, the strap came off and then the venue went black and he was gone. So it was like, you know, if they didn't have that there, he could have just disappeared. So definitely a really cool concept to keep him there. But no, it was good. It was actually a really good match.
I agree. But yeah, no, like, yeah, look, overall, I kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't the stellar for me of the night, but I did enjoy it nonetheless. Next up, we'll have a chat about the women's the women's Raw Championship match. That is Becky Lynch versus Asuka. What do you think?
I wasn't too invested in this. Like, I was excited, but I wasn't excited as I thought I'd be. I think because the build up to it just hasn't really been what I expected. But it was good. It was actually really good. It was a really hard knock match. We know that both Asuka and Becky can fight and fight properly. It was good to see that Kyrie wasn't too heavily involved in the match as well. That was really nice to see. Obviously, just coming out of the Royal Rumble, she wouldn't be too interested in fighting.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah. So. No, it was really, really good. I absolutely loved the spotlight of the whole match when Becky just boots Asuka in the face and the green mist just goes everywhere.
Yeah, so Asuka throws Becky into the ref. Ref falls into the corner. Presumed ref bump. Nah, no chance. Becky turns around, boots her square in the guts. A mist goes up, sprays her in the face, drops her down. And then 1, 2, 3, Becky takes the pin. Oh, it wasn't 1, 2, 3. It was a submission that disarm her and then Asuka tap. So nice circle to Rumble last year. Benny asked in the chat, do you think they will do the same with the women's titles on Raw and SmackDown that they did for NXT? Just call them the Raw and SmackDown championships and drop the women's. I think yes, it's certainly possible. Seeing as we have the heavyweight championship, and so the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, the names are distinctly different. Therefore, if you had the Raw Championship and the SmackDown Championship, there's no confusion of the names. It's the Raw, SmackDown, Universal, and WWE Champion. They're all named different. The NXT, though, I think is the one that's a little bit different because they've made that call recently to have them both be called the NXT Championship. Okay. Cool, but that now they both sound the same. Now I know the difference because one's held by men, one's held by women. But I think what could have been done. So they could have done it. They could have called it the men's championship and the women's championship. But if they're trying to go this genderless route, then that would actually kind of spit against that. So
Yeah.
Benny goes, I did like that at Worlds Collide. I thought it was cool. It is totally a cool idea. I think they may have to name it something like the NXT Championship and, the Full Sail Championship. That's a really bad example. But, you know what I mean? Like, there has to be something to differentiate them, I believe. Just the same way we have Universal and the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be, though, because I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Apparently, speaking of belts, though, at Worlds Collide, they did unveil the new Cruiserweight Championship. The purple strap has been removed and replaced with a black, as it was the belt for 205. 205 is pretty much fucking dead at this point. So it's been restrapped with the black. Nice purple touches on the original Pentagon side. Logo. It's cool. Yeah, I like it. It fits much better with the NXT aesthetic. But I believe it's currently in NXT UK because it was won by an NXT UK guy at Worlds Collide. Oh, nice. So, boom. So that's 2 belts, 3 belts over at Worlds Collide now, which is cool.
That's exciting.
Very, very nice. Is there an NXT UK Tag Team Championship?
No idea.
No, I don't watch it. Not on purpose, just don't have enough time. But yeah, look, Becky, it's kind of where I expected it to go. I expected her to come out with the win. I was pretty confident. Ideally, it would have been good to have her lose. Because I think that would be a good story to tell from now, sort of there are tag team belts in NXT UK. Thank you, Benny. There would be I think that would be a more interesting story arc. She's like the one person that you can't beat, and like everyone has that. There's totally one thing that we as people just can't get through, and I think that is I think that's a better story because granted there has been a build up to this match, but I don't feel it's been enough to really sell the idea that Asuka is the one that she couldn't overcome.
Yes. Maybe a year ago, but not now.
Yeah, I think if they was able to sort of peer this out for a little bit longer, I think we may have got something.
Yes.
Yeah, but Benny does. So I think Becky vs Asuka was the singles match of the night, and I didn't watch the pre-show. Look, I think it's pretty much spot on. The pre-show, which we haven't discussed at all yet. Whoops. Sheamus versus Gable in a match that went way longer than it should have. Like Gable put up a fight, which is interesting. But I think the decision there was Gable is safe. Sheamus' first match back. It's a good pairing. I don't see a long-term feud in that, but it's a good way to help it out. So Sheamus does get the win. Cool. The other match was Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo. That was cool. I really enjoyed that. But Andrade did take the win. Was a sneaky roll up though. So presumably that's not done, and we know that's not done because there is a match on Raw as well.
Yes.
So the kickoff show, I was bummed that Andrade was on there, but when you realize the card and how it was stacked, I'm like, no, okay, makes sense. With a 2-hour pre-show, it makes sense to put it over there.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So that brings us to the men's Royal Rumble match. Let's go through the list here. This is the list of entrants in order. Do you want to pull it up? Number 1, as we knew before the show, Brock Lesnar. Number 2, Elias. Number 3, Eric Rowan. Number 4, Robert Roode. Number 5, John Morrison. Number 6, Kofi Kingston. Number 7, Rey Mysterio. Number 8, Big E. Number 9, Cesaro. Number 10, Shelton Benjamin. Number 11, Shinsuke Nakamura. Number 12, MVP. Number 13, Keith Lee. Number 14, Braun Strowman. Number 15, Rick O'Shea. Number 16, Drew McIntyre. Number 17, The Miz. Number 18, AJ Styles. Number 19, Dolph Ziggler. Number 20, Carl Anderson. Number 21, Edge.
Holy shit.
Number 22, King Corbin. Number 23, Matt Riddle. Number 24, Luke Gallows. Number 25, Randy Orton. Number 26, Roman Reigns. 27, Kevin Owens. 28, Aleister Black. Number 29, Samoa Joe. And number 30, Seth Rollins. And the winner of the men's Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre.
Amazing.
I loved it.
I was so happy with that outcome. So one thing I did note earlier in the day is when I did see Beth Phoenix come out at the Royal Rumble, even though Edge has been denying it black and blue that he's not coming back, I was like, Beth Phoenix is here, Edge is making
Yeah,
it.
you and I both yelled that almost simultaneously. It's like, Beth's here, Edge is here, it's happening, Edge is here.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Edge is here.
So,
and he was. And it was amazing. And when I saw the look on his face to the way the crowd reacted and just the pure shock, he's like, oh my God, they remember me type look. Yeah. I started weeping.
Yeah, it was good.
It was beautiful.
See, because I didn't hear the. Do you think? Because I was like where I was sitting, I didn't quite like. I didn't hear it, but then I heard this on this day. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Now I don't have that history with Edge, so I kind of got caught up in the excitement of it all. But like, I do understand his importance, and I have seen his work, but not to the same extent that like say you have. But I felt like I had a lot of empathy for his story. The 9 years being told you could never do it again, and it's just not possible. But like watching him come out and see that on his face, and the high and like the excitement from him and the people around him. Like,
I'm pretty sure he eliminated Baron Corbin, didn't he?
I
feel like he might have.
Not.
No,
I don't believe he did. I forget who did.
I forgot who did. He eliminated a few people though, which is really awesome to see. And he did the hard yards. Like he was in there for a while. He was the top 4?
Top 3.
Top 3.
Yeah.
But
so he went gangbusters. Now, one thing that the whoever does the camera work and the directorshipness.
Oh my God.
They cut away from his first spear. Saying that though, it was recorded. If you go to the YouTube channel, you can see it. And he fucking blows apart Dolph Ziggler. Like, holy actual shit. There was some good FaceTime. Bit of an update as well. So during the spear on AJ Styles from Edge, Styles landed weird and actually separated his shoulder. So you can see it as it happens. He lands weird, rolls up. Corbin comes in shortly after, goes to get in on AJ. AJ's like, fuck off. So he moves, and then Edge comes over and he's like, dude, and you can see him like, you got to eliminate me right now. Because Edge is like, yep, picks him up and just puts him over the edge. So I think Styles may have had more time in him, but it looked like that had to happen then and there, and that was a decision. Yeah. So, and that's concerning because, like, using an example that I heard, I was listening to the pod today actually, and they talked about Finn Balor. Finn Balor had something very similar, and that's what forced him to walk away from the Universal Championship. So he was out for a while. It looks like AJ is going to be out for a while, and he has, having just recently signed a contract, and this, possibly being his final contract, it's difficult to see and think what could happen from this.
Definitely scary.
But let's mention, so Brock Lesnar. The whole story coming into this was that he was unstoppable. No one was worthy of the WrestleMania match with him. So he's gonna just come in here and run the shop. Yeah. 13 eliminations. He ties Braun Strowman now as the number one, the most eliminations in a Royal Rumble. And he pretty much just bang, 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 bang for at least the first 9. The first person to get over into the first 90 seconds was Kofi, which was cool. I enjoyed that, and followed by Rey Mysterio and then Big E. So they sort of nicely teamed up, which I really enjoyed.
Definitely some retribution for Kofi.
Yeah, because a little bit extra story around both of them have recently had feuds with Brock Lesnar to give them a moment to shine, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, that was awesome.
One thing we didn't get, which was what you jump on this, that Benny mentioned in the chat. Was it Benny? Yes, it may have been Benny, or it may have been Dingus. We didn't get a Kofi spot. We didn't get a John Morrison spot.
Yeah. Yeah, so we did see, obviously in the Women's Rumble, we did see Naomi do Naomi and the whole, the floor is lava. We didn't get that from Kofi, which, honestly, I think it was a good decision. Because, Kofi the last couple of weeks has been, since he's dyed his hair, he's had this whole new persona. He's been very, very strong-willed and very, more so powerful than he has in recent times. So I think, Kofi was really just there to put the fight on and prove himself and not have to do any little tricks like that. He's done that. That's done. That's last year's episode for Kofi. And he's moving on to the new chapter. which I thought was great.
I agree. I think it was a good decision because what would happen? He'd get pegged out, get caught, climb back in, and get pegged out again. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's similar to Naomi. She came back in and they got kicked out straight away again.
Exactly.
But the moment of absolute joy. So Brock Lesnar, I'm just going to put this out there. Like, he was selling like a champ consistently. So, you know, I think Keith Lee comes out and my lover, he looks at you can see and he's just like, who the fuck is this guy? He looks at Heyman and he's like, who the fuck is this? Yeah. And then he's like, big unit, like big dude. All right, fucking bring. And like you just see me, he's like, all right, I'm ready. So there was a great little bit of sesh between just three beef. It was just, Keith Lee, Braun, and Brock.
Braun Strowman and Brock. Amazing. That was so good. Now, I was interested to see that there was only 2 NXT stars in the men's Rumble.
Very true.
That was very interesting because I was under the impression it was the rule of 10-10-10.
I think that may have been the original pitch, but I do believe that it's changed because even though many superstars that were announced for the Rumble didn't appear, Otis wasn't there, Rusev wasn't there, Lashley wasn't there.
Rusev and Bobby Lashley apparently got into a big scuffle out the front of the arena, and neither of them were cleared to compete in the Rumble.
So I think there may have just been some last minute alterations because like the OC weren't meant to be in there either, but they were.
Yeah.
Which is all well and good. Now Benny in the chat does also add the Braun Keith thing should have gone longer. Hell yeah, it should have.
100%.
Because my original pitch was to have him in the final 4. I had him to win actually, but it didn't go that way. Which is
always
cool.
stood by McIntyre.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved.
Speaking of McIntyre though, before we jump in, tell the people how it went down. What happened with Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar?
I've completely forgotten.
All right, I got your memory for you. He's standing there. Drew McIntyre walks in. Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, a bit of a stare down. Surprise, cockface. Ricochet.
Oh
kicks
yeah,
him
Ricochet.
Square in the fucking gooch.
I called this. So I was like, all right, the only way that Brock is going to go down is with a dick kick. And I said straight up, it's going to come from Ricochet because Brock dick kicked Ricochet. So yeah, you're not wrong. They're face to face, eyeing each other off. Bam, dick kick from Ricochet. And then
Drew pauses for a second. He looks at Brock and he's like, oh shit. Fucking claymores him in the face. Brock goes over and he is down for like 10 minutes. It is
he went flying over that rope. It was amazing. Him and Paul Heyman were in shock. And that was the moment I knew, like, if Drew McIntyre can eliminate Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre is taking this whole thing out.
Yeah.
And sure, it was assisted by Ricochet, but still, like, that Claymore kick literally threw Brock over the top rope.
Yeah. And then on top of that, so then every time that someone came in, Drew locked eyes with Brock and just eliminated and then looked right back at him.
Yeah.
Like, you knew what was going on. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Solas in the chat.
Business.
Ask a question. Sorry to cut you off there, Jem. I have a question, if I may. Was Brock equaling the number of eliminations something like a bucket list moment for him? I get the impression more and more this is Brock winding down his career.
Maybe.
What's your thoughts on that one?
That definitely sounds like something plausible. that sounds very, very, very real.
So yeah, because the understanding from what we understand, Brock books Brock. He kind of picks and chooses what he wants to do. So I presume that he and Paul Heyman sort of put two and two, had a bit of chat to put Drew in this picture, and I do think, this was part of it. And I think the eliminations was if they want to push him and present him as this most powerful that no one is worthy, he needs to either tie or beat that elimination record. Because if he doesn't, if he come out with 11 instead of 13, Braun Strowman would look stronger. And in terms of numbers, you're like, well, why is Brock the most powerful when Braun has done better?
Yeah.
And
to me, the stare downs, now that we're talking about it, they kind of feel like almost like a passing of the torch.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, it's almost like, Drew McIntyre is going to step up into that untouchable Brock Lesnar spot.
I think it's possible. It's certainly possible. He's a big unit. I think he can deliver something fierce, which I really like. Oh,
hell yeah. And it's about damn time.
Yeah. Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. And then there was a bit of a downtime between that and then Edge. Edge came in and wrecked house. He did such a good job.
Had a good little spot there with Randy Orton, which was amazing.
I love that. Randy's like, fuck, you're shredded. And like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just some
And they
bit of shit.
rated RKO. They used to be a tag team, so they did a lot of like dual eliminations and a lot of teaming up. And then Randy goes for the RKO, and Edge just sort of turns around and stares at him, and Randy's like, "Oh, sorry, man." And Edge is just like, lol, spear, and then throws him out.
But yeah, even there's Randy coming in, he does that, he runs in and then within seconds it's 2 RKOs in a row, one on Gallows, one on Anderson, like fuck them both. And then they look at each other, and so Randy and Edge look at each other and be like, yep, and they just pick one of the OC up each and just peg them out. Absolutely love it.
Rated RKO was great. That was so awesome. It was really good to obviously see they've both been in this long term, so seeing that chemistry still there between them was beautiful. You could sort of, I guess you could see in Randy Orton's eyes, he was proud to have Edge back in the ring.
I do certainly think so. I think having them, and also presumably they're the two that are gonna go until Mania. So if we've come to learn the Edge is on he recently signed a 3-year contract. He's not going anywhere. However, I presume he's working on a lesser schedule. He's not going to be doing the week to week. I think that I think it was reported that he'll be doing more of a special thing. So like once a little bit here and there. And
him and Randy having a feud. I honestly think that this is
that's
set up
where
for
it's
a
going
feud between these two.
Yeah.
And I am so hyped about that because again, long-term storytelling. I love shit that goes back into when I was watching as a kid. Like, I will eat it up. Like, just feed it to me.
Yeah. So there is. I did see a shot today of the two of them talking in a ring, and I can only presume that it goes bad. And I can't wait.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the right amount of just. It's history. It's two guys.
Yes.
Randy is safe. Randy will keep Edge safe in terms of fucking up his neck further.
Yep, exactly.
Okay with it.
They both understand industry.
Who else we got? In terms of the back end, it was pretty kind of quiet. Roman came out, did some things. Kevin,
Seth
Black.
Rollins come out with his Messiah crew, who tried to wreck house. He came out with AOP, and then Joe and KO did come out and do some dozen. Oh no, Joe and KO were in the Rumble.
Yes,
so they
they were already in the Rumble at this time. So Seth did come out at 30. He came out with Buddy Murphy, who was supposed to be in the Rumble anyway, but he got taken out. So once again, it just changed. AOP in tow, ringside. Seth gets in, and then they just proceed to just fuck with people and just get all interfering. Short, was the second that Kevin, Black, and Owens got out, they proceeded just to punch the fuck out of each other, and then that spewed up the ramp and back out of the arena.
Yeah.
With Seth like, what the fuck, like looking up the thing, like, what, dude? Like,
and then turn into Roman like, bro, like we were bros, like let's team up.
So so we should mention. So he's staying in the middle of the ring. We have Roman. We have Randy, Edge, and Drew. And then one by one, they all drop him. And I was like, oh. He gets yeeted out, which I really enjoyed. Now, we talk about the final four for the women's and how it kind of had a little bit of a message to it, right?
Yes.
Look at this here. Randy, 3-time. Edge, 2-time. Roman, 1-time. Drew, no time. All Rumble winners except for Drew.
Yeah.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Beautiful.
Once again, that
storytelling at its finest.
That old guard putting over the new. I fucking loved it.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
But yeah, in short, Randy tries to do a sneaky, as you mentioned earlier, on Edge. Edge goes like, nah, fuck, mate, and then throws him over the edge. Roman then eliminates Edge. Everyone booed, but someone had to do it. And I think Roman can take the boos.
Exactly it.
And then, in short, Claymore kick. Drew picks up Roman, pegs him over the edge. And there he is. He is going to Mania.
Yeah. I am so excited.
And
I got teary, especially because I recently listened to After the Bell with Drew McIntyre on it. And Graves has been saying for months, Drew McIntyre is going to win the Rumble. And listening to his story and how long he's been at this and how far he's come and how he's constantly just missing out on these title opportunities and stuff like that. There was this really bittersweet moment of holy shit, you finally did it, bro.
And this is a man that was fired.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a stint. He was fired and then brought back.
Amazing.
And he's been at this since he was 14 years old.
Absolutely amazing. I saw a clip of a pub in Glasgow when he won and it erupted. It was absolutely amazing.
Of course it did. It would have been amazing.
It is brilliant because Drew was my pick to win last year. So he was kind like this year, as it was Keith Lee for me, with Roman as the most presumed winner because it made sense. But in my heart of hearts, I thought it was going to be Drew, and thankfully, in terms of, I thought it was his time. I thought last year could have been his time, but I was like, okay, well maybe they've decided to skip out on him because they've kind of let him. They spent all of 2019 treating him as a henchman to Baron Corbin.
Yes.
I'm like, all right, they are done. They're not going to give him the go that he needs. Which is a bummer.
And Shane McMahon for a little while.
And Shane McMahon, like, okay, they're not giving him what he needs. So I was very happy to see this. Watching Drew in the ring, hold tight for a little bit, but then it started to get super real, and
you could see it in his face.
I don't know how they go through the entire match knowing and selling.
Yeah. It's because it's what they do.
That's the thing that I find most impressive is like they know they're going to win and they hold it and they do everything.
But for them, it's probably still not real until it actually happens.
Yeah,
and you
true.
hear your music playing and you see literally an entire arena of 46,000 people just on their feet, like screaming for you. Like it probably doesn't set in until that point. And you're like, oh wow, like this just happened. And I can't imagine that feeling. All I know is like I was weeping. I was like, holy shit, this is it. I'm so proud of you.
So adding to that, so with Brock Lesnar being the big heel that he is, that means Drew's going to make himself a bit of a face turn. And in the chat, Benny does mention, let's talk about that face turn though for Drew. The quickest face turn, throw out Reigns the Rumble and set up match against Brock. He goes, I also love that 3MB is a 3MB member is headlining Mania. Drew making a point to stare down Brock every elimination he made was fantastic. And I totally agree. So I think, like, although Drew, because I did see the first half hour of Raw and he does come out and he does announce that he's choosing to take on Brock. And he, like, the way he's talking to the crowd and sort of like he is face now. Not in the full, like not in like the power positivity sort of face, but he has made that shift. And I think up until this point, he's been kind of dipping a little bit here and there, just in sort of crowd involvement, bringing in the 3 count,
counting in the claymore,
all these little things that bring the crowd in, and that's what a face does. Which I found
interesting. Apparently, he trialed it at a house show.
Yeah.
And it just blew up immediately, and everywhere he goes now, everybody does it. And that's like the epitome of like your face turn. That's when, like if they're chanting for me to kick somebody in the face, then they like me. So
I should also mention it was Solus that mentioned the stare down. So my apologies, Solus. And then Benny also had he's kind of being a tweener, and I guess he is. And like because even the Fiend himself is a bit of a tweener, and with the way that WWE is working right now, there are more tweeners than ever. Joe, Kevin, I guess Seth kind of not so much anymore, but like there are like that line between the traditional heel and face is 100% blurring.
But I love that because you never know which way they're going to go. Yeah. You never know which one you're going to get each week, and like that's fun to me.
And I think it's a relatively smart decision, because it's known that WWE are really bad at writing faces. So with a tweener, they can at least get some of what they want when they write heels, but within a face context.
Well, get yourself a man who can do both.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, what's that taco well? I can't say it.
¿Por qué no lo estás?
Yeah, that one. There you go. It isn't easy. It is easy, but I think there needs to be that nuance. There needs to be that grey area with all characters because no character is evil. No, as in terms of people, if you want to make it somewhat real, no one is exclusively evil except for a handful of people in history. But no one is collectively good except for a few handful of people in history. Most people ride that grey, and I think for good stories, you need to ride that grey.
Yeah.
Just to add on one final thing about Brock, Solus comes in and he says, I think it's beyond time that Brock moves to just a special attraction without a title. And I don't think booking Drew like this is unintentional. Brock wouldn't have sold his elimination if he wasn't going to put Drew over. Though I'd hate to see Brock's ego get in the road come WrestleMania. Nah. See, the thing about Brock, to his credit, and like as much as everyone shits on him, Brock, when he's with someone he wants to work with, he goes fucking hard. And he's willing. Yeah, 100%. He's willing to deliver on the people he believes. Because like if he doesn't have that championship, he doesn't have to fucking turn up.
Yep.
And think about it in terms of him being special attraction. This Rumble, he was a special attraction. He was a boss fight.
Yep.
He was a boss fight, and WWE spent 13 lives on him.
Yep.
You know, and he has been that for the longest time. He comes in, has a moment, and then goes away. Yep. You know, I'm pretty sure I have some Stockholm syndrome about him, but like now that I'm the more I've watched, the more I'm starting to understand how it all works and what they want Brock to be. I'm like, no, he delivers on what they need him to be. Yes. So because I still disagree with the idea of the championship is not around, it makes it more special. I think it's the absolute opposite. Mm-hmm. But when he does come back and someone is picked to go with him, you go, all right, I want to see this. I want to see this happen. And as Betty in the chat also adds, Brock wanted to work with guys like Mysterio and Bryan and AJ, etc. He even pushed for his match against Balor last year, if he's not mistaken, which I'm pretty sure is spot on.
Interesting.
So what's your thoughts on Brock as the boss fight, as the gauntlet match in a person?
I definitely agree. Yeah, I can definitely agree that he's obviously going to take every person he competes to their absolute limit. So I definitely think this is going to bring a whole new chapter to Drew McIntyre because of how hard he's going to have to fight for this. And I'm really excited to see it. I'm excited to see the build up to it. I'm excited to see where it goes and what happens. Feed it to me. Yeah. Just gimme.
Just to add on something you didn't say that you said earlier about the NXT guys. We only saw Keith Lee and Matt Riddle. I think there's a reason for that. Yeah. I think the reason is Keith Lee and Matt Riddle are coming up very soon.
I'd love that.
And for that reason, they didn't put any NXT men in here because if they get fed to Brock, then they look weak, and they don't want them. They don't want them to look weak.
That's fair.
You know, so I think that's the big thing. Is like that was a decision. Like these people are coming up. Some coming up probably sooner than we think.
Yes.
So give them a shot.
Yeah.
Easy done.
That'd be exciting.
So Solis adds to the Brock discussion, without a doubt, but the title needs to get freed up again. And if you want a special attraction match, Fiend versus Brock, let me see that. That's what I wanted at Survivor Series. But the difficulty of who wins that.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the tough part. Mm-hmm. So, Jem,
yes.
Overall, how did you feel about the Royal Rumble 2020?
I honestly, I would give it 2 Kurt Angles.
Oh, it was fucking
brilliant. Straight up.
Yeah.
It was great. Definitely a really good pay-per-view all around.
Yeah, it's one of those things, I think if, granted, we had some quote-unquote downers, with, Lacey, but it actually wasn't. It was just where the emotion sat. It put us in a place of being like, oh, okay, well, yeah. But that's just purely... someone had to take that hit, and I think that feud is probably the weakest of the 3, and it could work, as I said.
Yes.
What was your highlight, though?
My highlight was men's Royal Rumble entrance number 21, Edge.
Edge. Edge was. I forgot he was here.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my shit. That was... I called it, and in my heart of hearts, I was like, yes, this is going to happen. But part of me was like, oh, it's probably not. And then when his music hit, I was just like, ah! That was probably definitely my highlight of the night. And especially seeing him get to the top, 3, that was really freaking cool as well. That's one hell of a return, and I'm excited to see more of him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the men's Royal Rumble is probably the highlight of it for me personally. I think it went to the right person. And that's probably the big thing. I was like, yep, brilliant, fantastic. The women's Rumble with Charlotte taking the win did bum me out because I was kind of hoping that it would be Shayna. However, I do think we will get Shayna versus Becky as we all wanted, but I don't think it'll be a Rumble. I think Charlotte will take Bayley, as you said, freeing Becky up to take on Shayna. Because according to the dude I hate the most, Figure 4 Wrestling's Online, Dave Meltzer, Shayna is up. She's already pulled up, ready to go. So we may even see her on Raw tonight. Which we haven't watched yet. So we're about to watch it after we finish up here, which is cool.
We sure are.
All right. Anyway, let us know what you thought of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Check comments below, Discord, Facebook. All the links are in the description below. This wrestling conversation happened on a special time of Wednesday, Because our pay-per-view chats do happen on Wednesdays when they happen, which is very, very cool. 8 a.m. podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to listen to our Raw and SmackDown analysis, head over to on a Tuesday for SmackDown, Thursday for Raw. Conversation, Twitter, Discord, links, as you mentioned. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, just like Benny, Solus, and a number of other people did, head over to twitch.tv/popculturist, 8 p.m. on a Monday, 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night, and whenever we announce it for the specifics of the pay-per-view. Awesome. Yes. If you want to support us financially, head over to patreon.com/thepopculturists. Support us. The bunch of different tiers there. No rewards right now because I took it away. Just do the one that best suits you. And also, if you want to support us with more once-off fashion, popculturist.com/shop. We can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Yeah, that brings it to the end. Thank you very much, Jem. I hope you all have a lovely day, and we'll see you tomorrow when we talk about Raw. Bye. The Young and the Restless, the Pop Culturist WWE podcast, is fan support over at Patreon at patreon.com/thepopculturist. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damien Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.